An old Cherokee is teaching his grandson about life. "A fight is going on inside me," he said to the boy. "It is a terrible fight, and it is between two wolves. One is evil. He's anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego." He continued, "The other is good. He's joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith." The same fight is going on inside you and inside every other person too. The grandson thought about it for a minute and then asked his grandfather, "Which wolf will win?" The old Cherokee simply replied, "The one you feed. The one you feed." Which one do you want to feed? Do you want to feed the one that's telling you you're not good enough and constantly telling you, "Hey, let me compare myself, let me judge myself in comparison with other beings around me, with other human beings"? The one that's telling you to be greedy, to be angry, frustrated? Or do you want to feed the one that's saying, "Hey, like, let's have love and compassion for all beings, and hey, you're a beautiful manifestation of the universe, and so is everything else around you"? Tough battle. The battle is going on inside every single one of us. It's going inside every single human being. Right now. It's going on right now inside every single person's head. And that's what the devil is. That's what the devil that you keep hearing about in the Bible, in the Quran, in all these religious texts, right? In the Gita. You know, the battle, that's the battle in the Gita, right? The battle, that's the battle in your mind. That's what the devil is. The devil is inside of you. The devil is you in a way. It is inside of you. It is an element of you. And that devil is the negative voice. Really, that's your devil, right? That right there is what the Bible warned you about, what all these religions have been warning you about against Satan, right? That's what Satan is. Satan is inside of you. Satan is the negative voice. And maybe it is not inside of you. Maybe it is something you pick up. However you want to perceive this whole thing. As far as you're concerned, it seems like it's inside of you. This element of evil, this element of darkness, the shadow side, as Carl Jung identified it, the shadow side. See, throughout history, everybody's been identifying this other negative element in so many different terminology and explanation. You have the yin and the yang, right? The darkness and the light. Really, like you can see it in nature too. It's like nature saying, look, this is duality. So inside of you, you being part of nature, you're a dual being as well, and you have these two wolves, these two voices speaking inside of you. And one is feeding you good stuff, and one is feeding you garbage, junk. And whichever one you feed is the one that grows inside of you. Now, all of us, really, at the depth of it, at the heart of it, we want to become and embody the wolf of light, the wolf of goodness, the wolf of benevolence, the wolf of compassion, of love. And the way to do that, the way to stop your negative self-talk, is you've got to brainwash yourself. That's how it happens. You've got to really, really brainwash yourself. You've heard about all these affirmations and all these visualizations, and they fucking work like magic. I am telling you this from personal experience. I am someone who was haunted by his own shadow, by his own negative self-talk, by his own fears, by his own doubts. And I'm not saying I'm not haunted by them anymore, but I know how to play with them now. And that's what it comes down to. You will never get rid of the other wolf. It is part of the simulation. It is part of the game to experience contrast, and by default, or sorry, consequently, to experience this negative element. You can't get rid of it, but you know how to play with it like you play with a bull, like the Spaniards play with a bull, right? Now sometimes the bull can kill you, but the ones that are really good, they're the best bullfighters, right? They just sort of play with the bull, and they know how to not get hit by the bull, right? So the best you can hope for is to just know how to play with the darkness in you, with the shadow in you. And I was someone who was haunted with negative thinking. Like, look, let me tell you something. Anybody that gets into personal development was at some point or another, anybody who's preaching personal development to the world is someone who, I guarantee you this, someone who was seriously haunted by the shadow, by the devil, by the evil wolf, and got so sick and tired of it that decided, let me go the other way, because there must be something else to it. You experience the contrast, the evil, the darkness at such an intense level that it's so painful that you say, it's too painful, I don't want to experience this anymore. And then you go searching for the light. And I'm telling you right now, those affirmations work like magic. Do them until you feel like you became them, that you embody them. See, I don't really use affirmations anymore. I don't use affirmations anymore because I fucking used them for years and years and years, non-stop. I had rituals where I'd like look at myself in the mirror for 30 minutes and tell myself something. Tell myself that I am beautiful, that I am good enough, that I am a good speaker, that I have a good voice. All these things that I was so insecure about, that I constantly had the devil talking to me, right? The devil telling me, you know, your laugh is weird and your voice is weird and you're really short and all of these things, right? So I would say I actually spent years in front of the mirror feeding the other wolf, because feeding the wolf of lightness, because the wolf of darkness for me has taken over my psyche for so many years. You know, my entire childhood was basically ruled by the wolf of darkness, and so it sort of carried itself on to my teenage years and early 20s. And I figured, okay, I have to feed the other wolf. And depending on the intensity of which you have been feeding, consciously or unconsciously, the wolf of darkness, it may take an immense amount of work and feeding for the wolf of lightness before you can finally embody and remember who you really are, the truth of you at the depth of it. The element of darkness, the element of evil, the voice of the evil wolf, is there only to provide us with contrast so we can remember who we are. Really, we are light, we are love, we are benevolence, we are compassion, we are all of this thing. We are just, we are love. You know, that's where words sort of becomes very difficult to describe who we are, but we are love. And that much I know, that much I know. And so if the wolf of darkness, the wolf of greed and resentment and jealousy has been living and feeding off of you for so long, feeding off your energy, then it will take an immense amount of pushing in the other direction. That means you're gonna get a mirror and you're gonna look at yourself in the mirror and you're gonna just keep telling yourself whatever you need to tell yourself to feed the wolf of lightness. You might have been growing up thinking that you have an ugly face. You know, you might just, for whatever reason, that's the belief for whatever reason, right? So that wolf has really been feeding off that energy of you saying, I am ugly, I have an ugly face. So you're gonna have to look yourself in the mirror and you have to be like, I am beautiful, I am beautiful, I am beautiful. And you have to say it in the beginning. You're gonna have cognitive dissonance in the beginning. Really, like you're not gonna believe what you're saying. You're gonna be like, bullshit. Because the other wolf has been living inside of you, feeding off of you for so long, that the other wolf is gonna be like, who the fuck are you kidding? You're not beautiful, you're ugly. But then that wolf, the wolf of lightness, in the beginning he's scrawny, he's got nothing, but he's there, he's still there. And you gotta feed him. Even crumbs in the beginning, but you gotta feed him. You gotta feed them. So you feed them. You look at yourself in the mirror for 20 minutes and you say, I am beautiful, I am beautiful, I am beautiful. You're just feeding them crumbs because you don't really feel it. You still think you're ugly. You think you have an ugly face or something. And then you come the next day and you say it, say it, say it, say it. And little bit by little bit, that wolf starts to get bigger. The wolf of lightness. And these two wolves, one has to be bigger than the other. Really, like, I mean, if the wolf of lightness starts to get big, the wolf of darkness gets smaller. This is the balance of the yin and the yang, right? So right now, the wolf of darkness is so big, right? It's been feeding all these years. But the wolf of lightness is always there. See, they never diminish. They're always both there. See what I mean? They're always, none of them ever. That's why I said you can only learn how to play with the wolf of darkness, but you will never get rid of the wolf of darkness. So you start to give crumbs to the wolf of lightness, little by little, little by little, and you do this every day. And at some point, the wolf of lightness is gonna have grown from the things you've been feeding him, and he's gonna look in the mirror and be like, yeah, I am beautiful. I am beautiful. And then you start to really believe it and feel it. And then you keep doing that. You keep riding that momentum. And then that wolf of darkness, he hasn't been fed much, starts to shrink in size, get smaller. It'll never go away. It'll always be there. But then you can just play with it as a little poor baby. A little puppy. A little wolf puppy. That's not gonna harm you, not gonna hurt you. So every time the puppy comes, you just kind of play with the puppy a little bit, maybe throw it a little bit of a crumb or two, and then be like, okay, go play somewhere else. Because you're with the wolf of light now. And so do these affirmations. They really work. I mean, they've done enormous things for me as a person, as a personality, as an ego structure, as Saeed, right? They've really taken me from places of deep insecurity and deep negative self-talk and low self-esteem to places where I feel very confident. You know, like I am a pretty confident person. I really am a confident person. I am a confident human being. This is one of those things I just had to do to become a confident human being. Is I had to affirm to myself that I am beautiful, that I am good enough, that you know, all the things that have been haunting me, I had to feed the other wolf. And once your wolf of lightness grows in size and becomes the dominant one inside of you, then from there on it's a process of maintenance, and it's a process of just always maintenance, right? Maintenance work. You do your maintenance work, you do your meditations, you do your contemplations, your alone time, your solitude. From there on it becomes a process of maintenance, right? And you know you're gonna be in a good place from here on until hopefully the rest of your time on this short existence on this planet, before you have to move on to another incarnation or another game altogether. Maybe you graduated, maybe this is your last semester, you don't have to come back here anymore. And if it's your last semester and you don't have to come back here anymore, then you probably have developed the wolf of lightness inside of you to such a great extent that now you're no longer need to be here to learn anymore, because now you've managed to beat this game. And hopefully we all get to that level. I mean, this is the game of consciousness we're talking about, right? We're all just walking each other home, really. So feed that wolf of lightness, make it grow, and don't be too afraid of the wolf of darkness. When the wolf of darkness comes to play with him a little bit, entertain his thoughts, but don't feed him. If you're gonna feed him, throw him a crumb or two. Then always with your other hand, feed the wolf of lightness. Okay? God bless you all, guys. Make sure to check out my free book, 5 Powerful Habits to Dominate Life in All Areas. It is for free. You can go to 5powerfulhabits.com or find the link for it in the description. It is 19 pages and it actually is pretty powerful because it stands for its name. Because I wrote it in a period where I was facing those demons and really wrestling with that shadow side. So I wrote it in the midst of that. So if you're having problems with the shadow side, it's 19 pages, it's for free. Also, you can check out my book, The Master Player, a practical guide to win the game of life. if you want to know how to play this game, navigate this game, win at it, succeed in it, you will find the book very entertaining. Okay, I try to be entertaining in these videos, and in my writing style I try to remain entertaining to the best of my ability. However, this expression of the universe manifests itself in. So, God bless you all, guys. I love every single one of you. That's the wolf of likeness in me honors the wolf of likeness in you. That's who you really are. You are light, you are love, and that other stuff, that shadow side, is just contrast. You just play with it. It's an element to play with. And as always, don't forget to subscribe. Or. See, now that's where I'm gonna get the wolf of darkness here and make you sleep with the fishes. So subscribe.